Dark Souls, one of the most beloved and praised video game trilogies of all time, and one that I think could use a little bit more love to be made even better. And before you keyboard warriors mention that there's already remasters of Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, I already know that. This video will be mostly about exploring and understanding the community's sentiment around the current remasters of the games. That is, if you can call them that. And if people would be interested to see actual remasters be made for each individual game. Also, fuck all the Bloodborne fans, we getting the trilogy remastered first. But in all seriousness, I'm just fucking around. I would love to see Bloodborne be remastered to its own definitive state and be ported to PC, but that's a pipe dream and I digress. Before I dive into the topic, I do want to give context about myself and to mention that I have very limited experience revolving around Souls games. My only experience and credentials with Souls games stem from Elden Ring and its DLC. I have beaten pre-patch Consort Radahn with the poke build the first time around, I'll admit, and with my normal build in later playthroughs, that being the Guts build. However, this video idea isn't for ill intent or to give From Software a way to milk more of their player base, which either way I highly doubt they'd ever want to do in the first place. To give further context, I actually used to play Destiny, and ever since Destiny 1, I used to be a huge fan of the franchise. That is before it fell off and became what it is now, which is slop. I also used to be a Souls hater. I knew about the games, but I never really had an interest in them. This, however, changed last year, when I got my hands on Elden Ring, and my view of the Souls genre and games completely switched. Ever since then, I've only praised and wanted to try every real Souls game, that being anything made by From Software. That includes Sekiro, I don't care what anyone says. So now you guys understand where I'm coming from, and I'm only here because From Software actually does what the players want, and in my personal opinion, makes the best and most stunning games of all time. Getting into it, I'm mainly posting this video to see everyone's opinions and sentiment around the current Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 remasters, and to see if people would like to see them get proper ones. I'm not trying to get people to comment on this video just because. As a matter of fact, it could go without having any. I'm just asking this question as a genuine idea and for you to think about. Anyways, this thought of mine came about a couple of days ago on May 4th, and it was after I had bought all 3 games, which then led me to discover that Dark Souls 3 might be getting remastered, or is in the works. Now, although the Dark Souls 3 remaster is not confirmed and is just a rumor, it made me think about the other Dark Souls games in the trilogy. I would only love to play the best versions of each game, and although I've purchased each game 2 days ago, as of the time recording this, I haven't had the time to play them because this video idea popped up in my head. Nevertheless, I would still love to see the definitive version of each game. I've also done some light research and understood that the majority of the community expresses that the remastered versions of both these games were quite poorly done. They barely fixed any problems, and most say that the remastered versions had inadvertently added more. Therefore, my idea of getting a proper definitive version of each game, I feel should be taken into account a lot more seriously. This definitive version of the trilogy I think could be a cool concept. I'm not saying it should become the next GTA Definitive Edition hellhole that somehow was manifested. I'm saying it should be an actual improvement of each game. Here's basically the idea. FromSoft would keep the main and core things the same, like the map, world layout, loot spawn, quests, and so on. Basically anything from original games would be kept the same. However, the things that would be changed are updated textures if needed, quality of life features, better optimization, maybe uncapped FPS if that's needed. That's however the basic stuff. The more fun stuff could be the addition of cut content that wasn't initially in the game but now can be added, and anything else that each game can benefit from, like further clarification on the story, characters, or anything even gameplay related. So in a sense they're almost remakes, but they're still sticking to being a remaster. I don't know how definitive versions of games work, but my main point is that I want these games to stay as original as possible, but if they need or want to add new things, like the addition of cut content, FromSoft would have to incorporate it into what's already existing instead of making things from the ground up, which is what a remake would be. As for Dark Souls 2, well, it's debatable. I want everything to stay the same even though I haven't played it, but I know a lot of work would have to be done in order to make things work. Here's another idea that I came up with while brainstorming. FromSoft can sell each game separately. Let me give you an example. Let's say on Steam, FromSoftware decided to sell the definitive edition. It would be called, for example, I don't know, Dark Souls Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. It would cost between $60 and $70, and this main pack would include all the games and each game's respective DLC. However, if for some reason someone wanted to buy just one game, they could do that. They just have to scroll down and see that they can purchase each game separately. The catch is that if you buy one game separately, then it costs slightly higher than if you had bought the bundle. Duh. So currently Dark Souls 1 Remastered costs $40, and I think keeping it this price would be for the better. Dark Souls 2 is also $40, and would stay the same. As for Dark Souls 3, I would imagine they would have to lower the cost maybe to $50 or keep it $60, but basically the incentive is to buy the games together. However, in order for this to work, we need to discuss how players would access each game. I think that when players buy the bundle, they're not buying a single game that contains all of them in one. Kinda how like the Master Chief Collection functions, where you have a main menu and you choose which game you want to play. I feel like they should come separately, similarly to how Valve sells their The Orange Box collection and Valve Complete Pack, where it just contains all the games, but they're all separate. But if you think the MCC way is better, then so be it. I'm actually interested in which one you guys think would rather, or you would like, or which one you would prefer. Otherwise, that's my entire idea. That aside, I still have some other lingering questions, mainly about Demon's Souls, that I would like to ask you guys about. The first being, would you like to see the Demon's Souls remake be released on PC? Now before you say anything, I know it's not really going to happen, and it's a similar story to Bloodborne, but I do want to know people's opinion about that game. This also leads to my thought process, which goes like this. If there's enough demand for Demon's Souls, then Sony might see the success of one title, and they might be tempted with the idea of bringing Bloodborne over, and vice versa. Another follow-up question that I have about Demon's Souls, do you think that the Demon's Souls remake is or should be the definitive version of Demon's Souls? Or, if From Software has a chance, should they have a go at it? And then we can debate which one is better. Wrapping things up, I do want to mention that this isn't any confirmed information, nor is it some kind of speculation or leaks of any sorts. These are just a few ideas and thoughts that came up to mind, which I thought I should share with you guys, and to see the comparison against people who have far greater knowledge and who have spent far more time with these games than I have. Otherwise, thank you so very much for watching, and that's about it from me. See ya.